Welcome to Business Insights with Osayi Tres Omokaro, the one and only free business consultancy live radio podcast from Benin to the world. We have only one vision: to ensure that startup founders and MSMEs do business professionally and make positive and profitable impacts. Sit tight and enjoy today's episode.
My name is Osayi Tres Omokaro. Today we are continuing on our program Business Insights with Osayi Tres Omokaro. We started a series last week, Overcoming Business Challenges. So today I'll just do a quick recap of what we talked about last week, then I'll take it deeper for today, and afterward the lines will be open for you to call in or send text messages or WhatsApp to our WhatsApp numbers that will be announced so we can answer and respond to your business challenges right on air. Last week we talked about one of the reasons people find it difficult to access funding for their business is first, they refuse or they fail to formalize their businesses. By formalization of business, we're talking about registering your business with CAC, getting your tax identification number, and all of that. And if you are yet to do that, Trescaro Systems and Solutions is one of the best agencies you need to help you facilitate that. Then the second challenge we saw was that a lot of people operate their businesses from their personal accounts. By this, I mean even those that have taken the step to register their businesses and they've gone ahead to open their corporate accounts, but for one reason or the other, they still run their businesses using their personal accounts. And the backside to that is the fact that when banks and other agencies want to finance you, they want to see the track record. Of course, nobody is going to finance you on the basis of your personal accounts. They want to finance you on the basis of the track record of your business account. Then the other challenge we observed was the fact that people find it difficult to put in what we call the sweat equity. By sweat equity, we mean doing the things you ought to do before you begin to ask others to support you. We're talking about things like business planning, getting your concept notes, developing your pitch deck, and having something like we call the elevator pitch. These are some of the services that Trescaro Systems and Solutions can help you do. These are the foundation of every business. Without these things being in place, when you're beginning to seek for funds, you're going to see that you're struggling. Nobody is going to listen to you. But today, I'm going to take it deeper. So one of the first things I'm going to be talking about today is equipping yourself for the business idea you say you have. In my years of work, I see a lot of people come to you and say, "Sir, I have this idea." They come to you and say, "Sir, I have this idea." But the question is, when they begin to share the idea that they have, and you ask questions like, "What's your expertise?" you'll find out that they practically do not have the capacity to develop the solution that they want to offer to the public. Like, if you understand what business is, the shortest definition of business is the fact that business is the exchange of value. It means when you say I have a business idea, it means you are telling the world that I have a value to offer, for which I expect you to offer me back value in cash or in whatever form. So it means there's a solution you want to offer to the public. Imagine someone coming to tell you that I have an idea of an app that can help you do this, and you ask, "What's your expertise?" It doesn't have coding ability. It doesn't have the business development ability. It doesn't have the capacity to market or sell. It just has an idea of if something like this could be done, it could solve a problem. Brother, sister, you don't have an idea yet. Until you are able to either build the capacity to develop that solution, you really do not have an idea. I think that's something a lot of people also struggle with. You see somebody carrying an idea for years and telling the world, "I have this idea," but you don't have the least capacity to bring that solution to bear. So that's something you want to begin to do. You must begin to equip yourself with the major expertise required to execute idea. I know somebody will say, but we're talking about access to finance. The truth is, nobody is going to fund an idea until they are certain that you have the capacity to execute. Because if you can't execute, people's funds are going to go down the drain. In as much as you will not want your funds to go down the drain, no other person is willing to put their funds behind an idea that you have when you cannot prove that you have the capacity to execute. For instance, I always ask this question. In joining the military, the gun and the training, which is more important? Obviously, nobody is going to give you a gun as a military person until you have been trained. Unfortunately, when people think of business, they think that people should give them funding, even though they have not been trained to execute that business. Funding to business is to the military what gun is. Until you are trained and equipped to execute the business idea you say you have, nobody will fund you. I've been a part of a lot of series of access to funding program. Some, because of the their need to help take people out of poverty, to help support businesses, a lot of interventions like that came up. Of course, we know of the UWIN of the federal government of old that was giving out 10 million naira to Nigerians. If you take tab of those businesses today, I'm not sure you can count up to 20% of those businesses still standing. Yes, it was a lofty idea. The idea was to fund businesses because these people have ideas. But the backside of it was that we were funding people before training them. So it doesn't work like that. So a lot of other funders have come to realize that these people have got to be trained. So now, even organizations that are funding businesses would rather earmark 100 million to fund businesses and put aside another 200 million to train them before they fund them. So that's to tell you how much training and capacity building matters to accessing funding. So that's something you want to deal with. Then I also understand the fact that you may not have what it takes to have all the capacity to run a business from start to finish. That's where the next point I'm going to be talking about comes in. Partner your weakness. If you're a tech person, one of the weaknesses of tech guys is their willingness and capacity to build products because they can build it. They just want to build it because they can build it. But the fact that you are able to build a product or a service doesn't mean that you have a business. There is the sales and marketing side of it. There is the business development side of it. So having equipped yourself as a tech person, you have the technical knowledge to build that business. It is necessary that you partner with someone. Partner your weakness. Yeah, while I understand that accessing funding is the goal, but your capacity to prove to your funders that you have what it takes to execute the idea that you are putting forth matters a great deal. So because execution is key. Execution is key. If you have a lofty idea and you can't execute, you are not practically different from the person who doesn't have an idea. So execution is key, and your team matters. Sometimes funders actually fund an idea because of the team behind it. That's why we've seen people raise funds, start a business, the business flops, the person starts another business, and the same people who funded the other one will fund. Why? Because they know the execution capacity of that person. Because it's very, very important. Your capacity to put a team together, your soft skills, your ability to manage people, your ability to build that team together to execute must be proven beyond reasonable doubt. If you go ahead to create a pitch deck, for instance, there's a portion of the pitch deck where you have to talk about your team and the capacity of your team. It matters a lot. So you must employ to cover up for your weakness. I call it partner your weakness. Then the final one is that you must know where the money is and go for it. you must know where the money is. I'll reference my book I titled Funding Your Business Idea. The last chapter of that book chronicles over 100 websites where you can access funding. So as we go towards the end of this show, our lines are open now. You are free to call in. If you have challenges, if you have questions to your business that you think we can help you answer, feel free to send in your questions either as WhatsApp messages, text messages, or directly through a call to 070 8544 7462 or 0818 288 4091. If you are joining us live on IG, feel free to drop your question on the comment section. We'll pick it up and we answer them. Then our Instagram handle is instagram.com/Trescaro. So join us there. So as I was saying, know where the money is and frequent that place. There are websites all over the place that are consistently churning out opportunities for funding, particularly grants. Grant opportunities are fundings that you really don't need to pay back. But like you will know, once a fund is available that you don't need to pay back, it means it takes a lot of competition to be able to access it. So if you are one of those seeking for grants, you may want to prepare yourself to be able to go through the process, So while we wait for you to call in to take in your questions, I will want to just read some of the questions we already have. We have some questions already sent in. Feel free to call the number right on live now, 070 8544 7462 or 0818 288 4091 to ask your questions so we can get them answered. Like we said, where can you find, for instance, today, what are the sources of funding to business? One we want to ask. I used to tell people that it's not everything that changed because we are in a new generation. The most potent source of funding to your business to still start with, particularly for those starting, is still family and friends. It's still family and friends. That's why, irrespective of what you do, you just want to keep your reputation in place within your family and your friends. I shared what I would call a testimony concerning this program, this idea, when I nurtured it. A close person funded the first quarter of this. And, it's always like that. When you have a good reputation among your people, like I said something last week, the persons that think that the idea is a lofty one is always the person that will fund it. And that automatically means you. It means the beginning part of accessing funding has to come from you. Nobody wants to invest in something that you don't find worthy enough to invest in. So you must be the first person to invest in your idea before others can invest in it. So family and friends remains the first point of call when it comes to funding your business. Okay, thank you. I will just take questions that came in. This question came in from one Mr. Joseph Ode.
Okay.
He said, I have a lot of business ideas on my head that needs funding. Please let's meet to discuss how to access funding. I already registered my business with CAC. Yeah, that's the place a lot of persons are when they use the word, I have a lot of business ideas in my head. That's why we authored the book, How to Choose a Profitable Business Ideas. Somebody said, if you want to kill a man with a dream, what do? You give him a second one. When the person is thinking of multiple dreams, he ends up achieving none. So the fact that you have multiple business ideas could become your distraction. So I think the first thing you need to do is to ask yourself, which of this idea resonates with my immediate capacity? An idea amongst the multiple ideas that you can start with or without seeking help. Like I shared earlier on, you see a lot of people say, I have an idea, but they don't have the capacity to execute that idea. So look among these ideas without seeking help. Which amongst them can you begin to work on? So when you start to work on that, it becomes easier for you to seek further assistance. But if you still want to come to the office, you have the number 070-8544-7462 or 0818-288-4091. Just call. Let's make that arrangement. You are still free to call in live if you have a question, so we can deal with it before we wrap this up. The second question that came, he said, please, my project is to embark on cassava farming on an area of 52 acres. Also to be processing these cassavas into gari, starch, fufu, and flour, and also operate restaurants where they are sold to the public for consumption. Sir, I am soliciting your assistance on how to carry out this venture. Thank you, sir. That came in from one Benedict in India. The truth of the matter is, if I'm to advise, I will say that you have not even started, but you are putting your hands on too many things. There is what is called a value chain. In a value chain, the truth is no one person can start from the beginning to the end. You're going to pitch your tent somewhere within the value chain. If you're going to be into farming, farm and seek for how to sell. If you're going to operate a restaurant, or you want to have the cassava processing plant, focus on building a cassava processing plant while you source for suppliers, so you become an off-taker to those farmers. Why those operating restaurants get to buy from you. I think that's the best I can tell you for now. But if you want us to sit down and talk this over, call the phone number that has been shared. Visit the office. Let's take it up. Thank you.